My name is Paige. I'm a 30-year-old working housewife. I got married 6 years ago and I live with my husband Kevin, who's the same age as me and works at a company as well as his parents. I get along really well with my in-laws. My mother-in-law is a full-time housewife, and she's really helpful with taking my 5-year-old daughter Pauline to and from preschool. And my father-in-law is also spoiling Pauline. The 5 of us were living very happily together, but then 1 month ago, my sister-in-law Rachel got divorced and came back home, and this happy environment was destroyed. Ever since Rachel came back, a lot of strange things began to happen.
Daddy, I'm hungry.
On the weekend, when we were relaxing at home, Pauline started talking to her dad.
All right, looks like it's snack time soon. Paige, we have some pudding in the fridge, right?
Yeah, this morning I lined up at the new pudding shop by the train station that's really popular, and I bought some. I also got some for your parents too, so maybe I'll pour some tea.
Yay, aren't you happy, Daddy?
Oh, Pauline, she's so hyper. Wait, Daddy? Hey, Pauline, since when do you call your dad Daddy? I thought she was getting old enough to graduate from Daddy, but I guess she's still at that age.
My ideal person says Daddy, so I'm just copying them.
What? Ideal person? Pauline? Is there somebody that you like?
Yeah.
What? Hey, did you just say yes? A person you like?
Oh dear, Daddy's first shock.
He has a beautiful smile and long legs, and his name is the Third, so he must be the prince of some country somewhere.
Is she talking about Lupin?
A prince? There's a celebrity like that at your preschool?
Obviously not.
Mommy, the pudding!
Yes. Well then, I'm gonna go pour some tea. So, Pauline, can you go get the pudding from the fridge?
Roger that! Daddy, you're in charge of the spoons.
What? What about this person that you like?
Pauline had already shifted her focus to the pudding.
Pudding! Ah!
When Pauline opens the fridge, she suddenly stopped in her truck.
Mommy, that thief stole our treasure!
I knew it was Lupin.
And that treasure is your pudding!
And as she said that, she opened up the fridge. And she was right. The pudding that should have been there was gone without a trace. What? It's gone again. Actually, this isn't the first time this has happened. Ever since Rachel moved in with us, there were a lot of times that some special food would go missing like this. And not just any special food, but this pudding that was the beacon of my life. Before I knew it, they were missing one by one. And so now I only buy it on the day that we're going to eat it.
Sheesh, Rachel. She did it again.
Kevin turned around and headed straight to his sister's room. But it's not like we had any proof anyway, so she just always denies it. Rachel reluctantly followed Kevin into the kitchen.
This again? I don't know what you're talking about. I bet Paige just made a mistake again.
I see.
I know Paige eats a lot, so maybe she just ate all 6 puddings by herself before she even put it in the fridge. Auntie Rachel, how do you know there are 6 puddings?
That's right. I never said how many I bought today.
Are you serious? You ate all 6 of them?
It wasn't me. It's just because there were 6 of us in the family that I imagined there were 6 puddings.
That's a lie, because I used to buy 10 at a time in order to keep a stock in the fridge.
How weird. Whenever you talk, Auntie Rachel, I get a really sweet smell. What?
See, so it was you that ate them.
I don't know what you're talking about. I need to go see my boyfriend.
My sister-in-law was covering her mouth so that the smell wouldn't, and she ran away back to her room. She grabbed a large bag and then ran out of the house. Ugh, eating my pudding again without even asking.
She has no idea what's at stake. Her life.
Well, that's a little excessive. I had no choice, so for snack time I microwaved some egg and milk and made an instant microwave pudding. It was also delicious, but I woke up super early so that I could line up at that shop. I wanted to try that one. Actually, pudding was my favorite food, and I would go around the country to try different puddings and would happily line up for hours for special shops. The pudding for today was also one that's hard to get. I would write on the box, "Pages, do not eat," or I would say straight to her face, "Please do not eat my pudding in the fridge," but it was all useless. You might think, why don't you just eat it straight away after buying it? But I was buying it because I wanted to eat it with everybody in the family, so there was no point for me to eat it by myself. And plus, I didn't want to rush and scarf it down just so that my delicious pudding wouldn't get eaten. If you don't eat the pudding in the perfect situation, then it's rude to the pudding. If it's come to this, I thought I should place a mini fridge in my bedroom just for the pudding so that there's no way she could eat it. So I purchased a mini fridge on the internet. All I have to do is wait for it to arrive. Right at that time, I found out that I won the lottery for a special pudding that used extremely rare eggs. However, the fridge delivery was going to be after I left for work. That's why, to make sure that it doesn't get eaten, I wrote on the box, "Do not eat, dangerous." During the whole day at work, I was so worried about the pudding that I couldn't focus. That day I rushed home from work, and the first thing that I did was go straight to the fridge and open it. You're joking. As expected, the box containing the pudding had disappeared.
I'm home.
And then my sister-in-law came home at that time.
Oh, what's the matter with you staring to the fridge like that?
What do you mean, what's the matter with me? How dare you? I'm not going to forgive it anymore. I need to teach my sister-in-law a lesson. The wrath of messing with my food. Huh? Well, this is strange. There was a box in here that said "Do not eat, dangerous" on it. Inside it looks like pudding, but it's actually a really dangerous toxic thing, to the point where if you eat it, you might not wake up the next day. If someone ate that, this is going to be a huge problem.
What?
All right, she took the bait.
As if.
What?
Oh, Paige, using such a childish strategy because you didn't want me to eat it. Thank you for always buying such delicious pudding every day.
There it is. She's finally admitting to stealing. I knew that it was you stealing and eating it, Rachel. The pudding today was so precious that you can't even buy it anywhere. You need to pay me back for all that pudding that you ate until now, including the one today.
Excuse me? This is my house. What's so wrong about eating whatever is in the fridge of my own home? You're the one that married into this family. Who do you think you are? If you don't want it to be eaten that badly, then you should buy your own fridge.
What did you say? Yeah, I already ordered one a long time ago. However, the fridge that I ordered still hadn't arrived. Oh dear, what's the commotion? That was when my mother-in-law showed up. My mother-in-law knew that Rachel had been eating the things that I bought, and she had scolded Rachel a number of times for me. However,
Mom, listen to this. Paige is making it my fault once again that the pudding is missing.
as you can see, this 35-year-old woman is a spoiled brat. Is God missing again? That's right, and your daughter's a thief. Rachel, you literally just said yourself that you were the one that ate the pudding.
I would never do such a thing. You're probably just trying to kick me out of the house so that you can have it to yourself. Just because you hate me. I can't believe you make it seem like I ate the pudding when I didn't. That's awful.
Why are you changing characters like this? But I wasn't home today either, so there shouldn't have been anybody else that could have eaten it. I saw Paige receive the pudding this morning and put it into the fridge before she went to work. Rachel, even if we are all family here, you can't eat things that belong to others without their permission. Thank you, Queen.
What? My own mother's gonna believe Paige over me. This is awful.
That's what she said while wiping tears that didn't exist, and my sister-in-law ran away. Hey, Rachel, come back here. My mother-in-law seemed tired as she let out a big sigh, and she turned to me to apologize. I truly am so sorry, even though I told her many times not to touch your pudding in the fridge. For everything that she's eaten, I'll pay you back. My mother-in-law took out her wallet, but there was no way I could accept that. Even if you do that, Rachel isn't going to change her ways if she's only going to get worse. And plus, something smells suspicious. Smells? I knew that stew would go bad, even if it was in the fridge for 3 days. That's not what I mean. No matter how much Rachel likes to eat a lot of sweets, I don't think it would be possible for one person to eat puddings all at once. What? But you could easily do that, Paige. What? Well, I've gone through special training for it, so I can eat an endless number of puddings, but for a normal woman, would she be able to eat that much pudding all at once? The answer is no. As proof of that, even though Rachel should have been stealing and eating the pudding for 1 month, her body hasn't changed at all. That's true. Which must mean there might be some worth in investigating Rachel, and that is to every last detail. From there, I decided to launch my own investigation into my sister-in-law, and then I was able to gather all kinds of information. I see. My sister-in-law is even more evil than I thought. However, I needed her to feel the wrath of stealing my food, and this time I'm gonna make sure she really gets a taste of it. 1 week later, today was the weekend. Kevin and Pauline were out together for the day, so I was making pudding at home by myself. When I completed it, I put it in a box and I put a sticker on it that said, "Caution with handling, do not eat, dangerous," before storing it in the fridge. While the pudding was hardening in the fridge, I started on the chores, and then as expected, my sister-in-law snuck around and made her move. When I went back to check the fridge, just as I expected, the box was missing. Was I disappointed, you asked? Absolutely not. The fish came and took a big bite of the bait. I took out the pudding that I had hid in the oven and I threw in the secret ingredient. Once again, I wrote, "Do not eat, dangerous," and put it in the fridge. Well then, why don't I show you how this turned out? A few weeks later, Rachel came home like nothing happened and went straight to the kitchen. And then I heard her feet shuffle quickly into her room and close the door. Not long after, I heard a huge scream echo through the hallways from her room. What happened?
What's going on?
When we opened the door, Rachel was laid out on the ground.
What the heck is this? Ew, why did you put this?
Whoa there, what is she saying? I can't understand a word she's saying. On the floor next to Rachel, who was panicking, was a container for Paige's homemade pudding. Oh no! Rachel, don't tell me that you ate this! Not again! You took what belonged to Paige without asking!
Shut up! Can't you see I'm struggling?
We can't understand a word you're saying. Can somebody please bring some milk?
Got it!
Rachel grabbed the milk and drank the entire carton, and it seemed her mouth finally calmed down. However, she was heating up even more.
What the hell is this? What did you put in this pudding?
Chili peppers, but I put a sticker on it that very clearly said, "Do not eat, dangerous." Are you telling me that you ate it?
Obviously, I would think that was just a decoy. You were just upset that I was eating your pudding. Do you think you're gonna get away with this?
Rachel, you're the one that was eating what didn't belong to you. Watch your mouth!
That's right.
What the hell? Why is everyone taking Paige's side? And first of all, for trying to frame me for eating the pudding, it's your job as a parent to take out this unworthy snake from the family.
Excuse me?
You're okay with your daughter being treated like a thief? Why aren't you kicking Paige out of the house?
What do you mean, why? That's because you're very obviously the thief, in every sense of the word.
Excuse me, you're not going to believe me? This woman is just trying to set me up as a thief. I haven't done anything wrong.
All three of us turned our gaze to the empty pudding container that was on the floor.
This isn't what it looks like.
Rachel tried to hide the container, but everything was too late.
This is what happens because you guys didn't kick her out sooner. I just wanted to kick Paige out of this house so that I could live here for the rest of my life.
You're the one that's going to be kicked out!
My father-in-law was also getting heated up, and that was when I decided to give them some very important information. Hey Rachel, actually I was going to be using that pudding as a prank for the next company party. There was another box with 10 of them in there, wasn't there? You ate my sample pudding, but what about the rest? If you give that back to me, then I can forgive you for this. I held out my hand so that she could hand it over, but at that moment my sister-in-law's face went completely pale.
What do I do?
What's wrong?
That pudding, I put it out for sale.
For sale? What are you talking about?
My boyfriend is working at a cake shop.
What? Rachel, you were still seeing that guy? Did you forget that they spared you of a settlement fee because you promised not to see him again? The reason for my sister-in-law's divorce was actually a double affair with a cake shop owner. The wife of the cake shop said that she wouldn't collect a settlement fee if the two of them broke up. But if she found out that they were still seeing each other after the divorce, it's gonna be trouble.
That's right. For him, I was giving him all the pudding that Paige got to sell in his shop, and I saved his business that was failing.
What? What did you say? As if. I already knew that though. Recently in the Pudding Lovers Club, I've been hearing a lot about this cake shop that was selling some really delicious pudding. And how interesting for a yucky cake shop that was known for having way too sweet cream and burnt cakes to produce such delicious pudding. And not only that, but every single time the flavors were different and very limited quantities. Rachel seemed to panic and tried calling him, but they had sold out immediately. Oh my, what's she gonna do? If you sold pudding with chili peppers in it without any warning, that's gonna cause a lot of damage. They can sue you.
Sue? But I didn't know.
I wrote very clearly on the box, handle with caution, do not eat, dangerous. Didn't I? And yet you went out of your way to peel off that sticker, and on top of that you were selling it. That's terrible. There's no way you're gonna get away with just saying you didn't know. And first of all, reselling pudding like that is already outrageous.
But because...
I'm sure the people who ate that chili pepper pudding are extremely furious right about now, and they're probably at the police station as we speak filing a report.
A report? That's so over the top.
As if it's over the top.
Ah!
When you ate the pudding just now, how did you feel? Just when you thought it was going to be a sweet pudding that melts in your mouth, instead you're attacked by extremely spicy chili peppers. How did you feel?
Well, that's...
I bet you thought, I'm going to take Paige down. How dare she make me eat this? Didn't you feel angry like that?
That's right. I'm still furious.
I'm sure you are. Even though you saw the warning sign, you still ignored it and ate it. And even still, you're this angry. In that case, can you imagine how somebody would feel when you went to a cake shop looking for delicious pudding and they paid money and that's what they ate? Not only would the taste infuriate them, I'm sure they're all angry that their time and money was wasted. And I'm sure they're all looking to get the police's help.
No way.
Rachel seemed to finally understood how serious this was, and she started shaking from head to toe.
If you have time to be shaking, hurry up and go find the people who bought the pudding and apologize to them.
Find them? But how am I supposed to find them? I can't do that.
Shut your mouth and go! And don't you even think about coming home until you've apologized to every single person who purchased the pudding.
But no! This is none of my business! I didn't know!
Now do you understand the wrath of messing with my food?
I understand way too much. You all have to help me.
Do it yourself!
My father-in-law kicked Rachel out of the house as she was crying and yelling. After that, there were multiple reports of people who saw a man and a woman arguing outside of Yucky Cake Shop. Yucky Cake Shop didn't have security cameras installed, so they didn't know who purchased the puddings. However, luckily all 10 puddings were purchased by one family and they didn't file a police report. But just as my father-in-law had declared, Rachel wasn't allowed to come home until she apologizes. So she was stuck kicked out of the house. Apparently, they tried to apologize by posting a piece of paper on the shop window that said there was accidentally some chili peppers in the pudding. But then that became the trigger for somebody who found it interesting to investigate the cake shop, and they discovered the resale of the puddings. After that, the cake shop went out of business. The shop manager was also divorced by his wife, and she went on to collect a settlement fee from Rachel. Rachel tried to go to her ex-husband for help or try to rely on her friends, but everybody brushed her away. And because she had nowhere else to go, she had to go into the world of nightlife. After that, with my sister-in-law gone, we were able to regain our peaceful lives. You feel bad for the customer who ate the pudding with the chili peppers in it, you ask? Actually, there's more to the story. A few hours after my sister-in-law had been kicked out, my husband and Pauline came home with a gift for the family.
I'm home, and I bought the pudding that you asked me to get.
Thank you, and you were able to get all 10 of them. That's right, I had asked my husband to go buy that pudding, and the rest of the family and I ate it deliciously. That's because the only one with chili peppers was the one that my sister-in-law ate. These were all normal, delicious puddings.
Daddy, it's delicious!
This is the best. Sorry about that boy that you have a crush on, Pauline.
Oh, looks like he was still bothered by it. You mean the third?
What? Paige? You know him?
Of course, he's tall, he's smart, he has a lot of energy, and he has a great smile, right?
Exactly!
And plus, he's the best thief in the world.
Did you say thief?
Oh, did he finally realize that it's Lupin?
You can't do that! You can't have a crush on a thief! You need to find somebody more serious!
No, he still doesn't get it.
What? The third was a thief? Thieves are bad! And Mommy's always telling me that you can't steal other people's stuff!
That's right. So you need to give up on this guy named the Third or whatever.
And I'm going to keep calling you Daddy.
That's right, that's right. You can call me Daddy or Papi or whatever you want.
Oh, honey. Looks like he's going to be called Daddy for a little bit longer then. But seeing that, Pauline understands that thieves are bad. Kevin seemed happy about that. Or could it be that he's happy that Pauline doesn't have a crush anymore?
Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!